Hello, I'm Riot.
Hello, and I'm Johannes, and welcome to Alpha Update 25, Dicey Actions.
Nice.
25, quarter of 100.
It's crazy.
Wow, lots of updates.
Lots of updates, yeah. It's basically not the same game anymore, if you compare it to the first version.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of a cold. I hope I'm gonna go through this without sneezing and coughing too much. But yeah, so I would say we have a couple of new features to show you. Let's just dive right in and take a look.
So the first new feature is dice actions. So as you know from old versions, the dice are used to resolve combat, and now they are also resolved to resolve events. So inside of the diary, sometimes you will see buttons now that have a dice face on them, or die face. And when you click those actions, you will roll all dice of your party members, and if you manage to match the dice faces on the button, the action will succeed, otherwise it will fail. So this, before there was like more of a black box behavior where you were not able to tell like, oh, how good are my odds at succeeding this action. So now the dice will give you a better idea. And I think your track members now play an even more important role also for like event outcomes basically. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's right. It's still very simplistic. It's just no re-rolls or any other mechanics. It's just one simple roll. But yeah, it certainly takes a lot more your group now into consideration, whether or not you are succeeding in climbing a shrine or exploring a dark cave or whatnot.
Yeah, this will also make it more interesting if your people have blue dice or green dice, for example, even outside of combat. That's not just important anymore for just combat, but also for like communicating and so on.
It was originally the idea to have that in the game, but we stepped back from it because we thought it would be too much for us to handle. But yeah, we now found we think a nice solution to still have it represented in the game to some degree.
Cool. What else?
Should I go? Yeah. We have new items. We have new items in the game. One is a little nice voodoo doll. You can find it, I think, in all kinds of like native instances or other traders or something, and you can use it to slow down the progression of your rival explorers while you are on an expedition, to buy us some more time to reach the Golden Pyramid as a first explorer. And the other item is what's the final name in the game? I think canned food or tin cans.
Tin cans, I think.
So yeah, basically it's canned food. It's rather shitty and nobody really likes to eat it. However, when you are super desperate and starving, it still will raise your sanity. So in a sense, you can use it to regain your sanity up to a certain degree. I think like 30, 40-ish is the maximum. Beyond that, people will not be desperate enough to eat it and will basically refuse to eat it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also a couple of more items, or no, not items, but perks.
Perks. We have a couple of new perks. So, thanks to our community, they made us aware of an idea we had a long time ago, but somehow it never found its way into the game, even though it's super obvious that it should be done. Which is 3 perks, one for each die color. So basically you can now pick up an additional die. I think one is called the Ruffian, which adds a red die. The other one is the Protector, which adds a blue die. And the Protector adds a green die, and the Adept adds a blue die. So this way you can also up a little bit your die game. And last but not least, it's not really a perk, it's a blessing. You know, when you are drinking from the chalice in those sacred temples, it may occur that one of your track members will grow unnatural, monstrous claws as hands, and this will mean that this person will have an added animal combat die, which can come quite handy in competitive encounters.
Yeah. What else? More on the technical side is resolution changes. So this is a bit more complicated. So basically we had two modes in the game. The native mode, where we had a pixel size of 2. So basically, since it's a retro game, as you know, the pixels inside of the graphics are bloated up, so you can actually see them, and they corresponded to a ratio of like 1 pixel in the graphics is actually 2 pixels on the screen, and that was hard-coded, which caused a couple of issues. Mainly that on high resolutions, the HUD elements would get slower and slower, because like compared to the display size, of course, each pixel is smaller, and if you don't adjust for that, the HUD elements become smaller and smaller. Unless you enable the stretch mode or the scaled mode, but then the UI elements would become blurry. So now we added 4 new modes, and if you set you can now manually adjust the pixel ratio. So long story short, it's if you play on 1080p, you can set the pixel ratio to 3, and you will have nice big graphics that are pixel perfect, sharp on your screen. You will have text that's still readable, so you have the best of both worlds, basically, the new modes. And that took quite a long time to implement, but so there were a lot of changes involved, so there might be still hiccups in there, but looking forward to your feedback.
So it means we already have the Curious Expedition HD version,
Yes.
basically. Which is especially cool, I think, for everybody who's screen recording stuff. So I guess this will go very well with our YouTuber audience.
Yeah, a lot of you are probably already playing on 1080p, and for you it should really make a big difference. If you're playing on 720p, not so much, but if you have a big screen, the game never looked this good before, basically. Yeah.
We're still supporting the scaling mode, so it will automatically fit to your screen. However, as you may know, this kind of like messes with our perfectly grainy pixel look, which was always causing my heart to bleed when I saw this. So now you don't have a good excuse anymore. Please don't use this mode anymore. No, you can use it if it's fitting better for your screen resolution, but yeah, you have something which is much more towards our initial artistic vision for the game.
Yes. What else can we add?
One more thing, we buffed the angry native encounters. So when you're now looking for trouble and your standing is too low and an angry natives are spawned, you will find that they are much harder to beat because they now have spear die. So be careful out there.
Yeah, tuning is of course still something that's very ongoing for us. It's getting better and better, I hope, but still something we'll be working on for a long time. Incorporating your feedback, and also this is kind of tuning change, but also a bit of a game design change. The phobias which are in the game, they don't affect the general sanity of the party anymore, but instead they will affect the individual loyalty of that party member, which is hopefully a bit more intuitive and also more fun. And there's a new phobia, the fear of trees.
It's a very common phobia.
Yes, at least as common as the fear of butterflies, I think. Yeah. And one final technical thing is the save game and the player data are now stored in. They were stored in some weird temporary folder before. Now they are stored inside of your user folder, in your documents folder. And more specifically in the Curious Expedition folder. So if you want to move your save games and so on to a new computer, just copy that folder. And this step will also allow us to enable Steam Cloud support within the next couple of days.
Yep. One last word, we teased a couple of days ago difficulty modes. We had it in the game, it was kind of running, but we decided for this update to not deliver the difficulty settings, because they are not like perfectly finished and we want to get them in a little bit of better shape. So please be patient a little bit more. hopefully we'll be able to ship them with the coming update 26.
Yes. Cool. Of course, there are more changes. For all the details, check the description list below the video. I always wanted to do this thing. Yeah, and
that's it. Next update. Achso, das machen wir dann mit wieder.
mhm.
Okay. Dann machen wir das dann.